Okay, well, talk of the town has been that Xbox is increasing their powers of Game Pass. The price is going up, plans starting, it's gone up in fucking price. And I've got definitely got thoughts on this. Um, but this is my feeling towards it. Okay, I came from an era when I would have to work, do chores for the parents, save up $30 to go bike to the store to rent for 20 minutes biking to the store to rent two N64 games and buy some snacks. And Game Pass will never capture that magic. That was an era that is totally lost to time, and renting games is just, I don't know. It just, for real gamers, man, it just has a feeling that it's just like not owning something is like, it's like, you just, the feeling is emptiness of it. And maybe some people can get by it, but honestly, for me, there's just no, there's just nothing like, if you love a game, you gotta have it. You gotta always have it. You gotta be able to click it. Not when, you know, 3 months down the line you decide to skim down on some things you don't really use. You realize you don't really use a lot of Game Pass. So let's look at this. So they've got these different things up, and like 50 games, 200. Just make one plan and give everything you're supposed to. They're like adding Ubisoft, and they're like adding another thing, and look at all these fucking prices. Can you imagine paying $30 a month for fucking something like that, when you could spend $30 on, I don't know, Skyrim Master Edition or some shit, and mod it to hell and get a whole 3 months of gameplay out of it. It's just insanity. But that's how they get you. They want you on these subscription services, so they have this continual revenue. It's not all these different. It's not all these different. A new game comes out, it goes up, and then nothing comes out, and it goes down. And this is how these business class people fucking operate. So everybody's been canceling it and doing all this shit, but like, it's like, I don't know. I think it'll still be a viable option for someone, because there is this whole new generation of people who are not. I would say they're pretty fucking casual. Like, they maybe play an hour or two of games a night, and they only play the latest and greatest, and they don't really invest overly into video games. It's just kind of a thing. And these are the same type of people who have these different subscription services like Netflix, and that they're not at the level of playing an old obscure game from 2009 for 50 hours a week. It's like what some gamers do, like me, or matey, doing the matey thing, and getting like your all your stuff. So you really gotta wonder. There's a huge backlash. I'm seeing backlash on Reddit, seeing backlash on Twitter, seeing backlash on the internet, seeing backlash everywhere. People seem really pissed by this, and this is the kind of thing that they do, is that they will really come after your like the way people are. The gaming industry has definitely changed. Oh yeah, definitely. And you now have this super casual group who just plays whatever comes out, the latest greatest, and rarely plays anything more than 30 minutes to an hour and 45 of gaming per day at most, and a couple 3 or 4 hours a week. And this is something that this is catered towards someone who's not gonna buy a $80 game and play it for like 60 hours on end until he's finished it. So there's different varying degrees. But I found this interesting because I have had Game Pass. I played it in the summer. I got it for like a month or two. I think I had it for 2 months, and I found Warcraft 3 Reforged that I fucking loved, and I fucking played the shit out of it. And I had this feeling. You get, real gamers have this feeling in their sitting in their stomachs. If you have to have it, you have to own it. It has to be sitting in your library, so that any time, whether it's a year or 2 years or what, that you just like you can go and play it. It's just there. You can just go and get it. It's modded, maybe it's got graphical enhancements. It's just the best version of the games you love. And for Game Pass, it's not doesn't do that for you. So let's see. Essential is now the game name for the Game Pass Core. This is the cheapest version of the service and remain at $10 a month. So yeah, get the fucking bottom of the barrel games probably. Now there might be a game in that 50 games you want to play. Like for me, I liked testing out the different Blizzard games. Activision, Blizzard, Game Pass, Xbox. I don't know. They're all fucking linked nowadays. Now like Ubisoft is fucking in there and shit. So yeah, and you got premium Xbox Gold Game Pass Standard featuring the same benefits, essential, but we gain over 200 games for the premium version, but still $14. I'm pretty sure that was, what it was. It was like 20 bucks or $19 or something, I think. But I mean, this is Canadian for me. So this is going to be like how much is it going to be fucking Canadian? $33 a fucking month. Yeah, so I mean, this is pointing towards something being it's starting to be a little bit I mean, that's $360 a fucking year. Can you imagine spending on that? That's like what a new Xbox costs, isn't it? So they're clearly getting greedy with this, and I think that what happened was they have all these titles, and you got to look at it from like the Xbox CEO people's look of it. Okay, so they have here, wait, I just want to check. I just want to check what it is for me Canadian. Base price $90, $33.99. Yeah, it's like $33.99. It's a lot of fucking money. It's a lot. The 14-day free trial is fucking phenomenal. It's like you can't really go wrong with that type of, just 14 days you get to just play whatever game. You see a game you like, you can buy the real version. But, for just the blanket, game, you're going to want to own it. If it's a good, you want to have it. And Steam has an amazing deal because with Steam you can just play it, test it, 4 hours. You have to, within an hour you can tell if you're gonna like a game or not easily. Sometimes even within 20 minutes to a half an hour, you can play a game, you test it out. You're like, this looks sweet or this looks shitty. Like it's that easy. It just happens like that. So yeah, I mean it's a very interesting news. People are not taking it well. It's all over everywhere. Let's read Reddit. Game Pass plans. New PM post. This is on Reddit. My plans are to fucking leave. LOL. LOL. Kill off their hardware side and then makes their software side unattractive. So yeah, I mean people are really, really not liking this. And this is coming in an era where everything is getting more expensive. Food's gotten more expensive. Car getting more expensive. Insurance getting more expensive. TV subscription services getting more expensive. This, that, the groceries, everything is getting more expensive. And Xbox is like, oh, hey, yeah, you remember that thing? You got. There's so many people that would have had Game Pass as just. It's just like, oh, it's yeah, $20, whatever, that little tiny charge a month on their credit cards or whatever, they hardly notice it. But now you got like $30 it's in that range of 30 to 60, which is like not a lot of money, but a pretty substantial thing for just games that you could own. You could go back to a game from 2015 and play 80 hours from it that you already own, that's already in your Steam library, you already have on PS4 or whatever. You yeah, this is all indicative of Xbox not really doing very well on the financial side of things. And they probably made all these new games and all these titles, and this whole experiment with Game Pass and giving games away for free is kind of fumbling a bit for them. It's gonna be bad. This all at the time of Netflix too. Netflix is, got major scrutiny for some of their, trans agendas and stuff in some of their TV shows that people are just all over social media like cancel, 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 cancel. So it's interesting. $30 a month is completely outrageous. I 100% did. The price of a full game every month without even owning it. Yeah. But CEOs and these people have said this for a long time. They're like, we want games to cost more. We should bill you by the hour. Like all this shit. Like, lot goes into games, but gaming companies make shitloads. I mean, how much money do you think GTA 6 is gonna make? Like fucking billions of dollars over top of what it costs to make it. So this is targeting like those like like fucking South of Midnight, a game that nobody played, nobody wanted, nobody bought, completely write off for the company. And they're trying to recoup these costs of all these stupid woke games that make no money, and these franchises lost like Halo that is completely fumbled by Xbox. They could be making billions of dollars per year off Halo if they had smart people in charge of it, smart people who are able to know what the Halo franchise is all about. Halo, 6 or whatever they come out with. It's got like ODST troopers moving in and like a planet side assault, and you can like, guide your troops and then like go in battle and play with your friends. They won't make that. The people who make Xbox are so stupid. Like Xbox, a lot of Xbox developers are so stupid. They come up with the worst ideas ever. I was thinking of getting rid of Game Pass everywhere. Thank you for making it easy. Now, apparently, look at that. Gaming. Oh, we're just going to put the flag on that. Ho, 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 ho. It's this whole culture that's destroying gaming. But anyways, this is another side of Xbox that is just fumbling development. Xbox 50%. 50% increase. It's insanity. It is a lot. Now, it doesn't really affect me much because number one, I don't have Game Pass. I got Game Pass for like I said, like 2 months, month and a half. I looked through all the roster. I played some games. Me and my bro played a few fun games for fun. I'll probably get Sea of Thieves. Because we had a good afternoon. Playing that for like 2 hours. I loved Reforge. I was like, I have to own this. That was $30 fucking. So, they're, and then after that, I was like, well, there's not really anything else for me to play. I like the idea of owning a game. I have it. It's mine. I can always pick it up and play it. I never have to worry about, charges to have, and just the limited edition of it. Like for me, for PC gaming at least, and in a way for console gaming, so the best way to have it is just you have the game. You have it, you load it up, put the disc in, load it up on Steam. Maybe it's a modded game that is outside of the Steam framework, and it's just there. That's the best way to have games, because then in 6 months, they might fucking imagine they pull it. Imagine all the games people have who have just gotten used to like having in their roster or whatever, and Xbox Game Pass is like, sorry, we're not making enough money off Game Pass, and we made the decision to cancel Game Pass. Games will be fully available for purchase on Xbox Store, and now you don't have those games anymore. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I think even with all the cancellations, I think for the most part they're still going to. I think they still. I mean, it's a fairly popular service. This is not going to be a popular choice. How many people they lose over this will be in question, but it's definitely interesting. Nintendo, of course, the Nintendo-based site is just gonna a flood of Xbox users rushing to cancel the Game Pass subscription service today. Microsoft announced a substantial increase in prices of the service, including 50% to its highest tier. There's no other way to frame this than they because if they were making enough money off of it, let's think of this just like outside of gaming, outside of whatever these things is. they were making enough to continue, or making a lot off of it, they wouldn't have done anything about it. Huh? Wouldn't it? I don't know. That speaks to me that they just decided that this was, a Conker's Bad Fur Day, such a fucking great game. And games like that is there's this huge glut in the gaming industry right now of just countless people in charge of so much. They have no creative ideas, and they just are coming out with slop, and that is hurting Xbox big time because people aren't buying them. There's just so many games nowadays. Like, there's so many fucking games, 400 plus games on Game Pass. That's not even scratching the surface of what's out there. There's thousands of great games for you to play right now. And it's like they're not doing themselves any favors by this maneuver. European. Yeah, how much is it? This is a European site. Oh yeah, so how much is it going to be for European brothers and sisters? 22 euros. Oh, that's less, hey? 22 euros. I'd imagine that's substantial for them too. But you can tell from even from Reddit, a fairly passive people's getting upset over it. People who usually just accept whatever slop is given to them on Reddit. These people are up in arms about it. Oh, this is on the Xbox thing. This should be good. Now it's just cheaper to buy games of theirs or want. A 15% increase is wild. That's so true. That's so true. I mean, we exist in a time now where people already have like people who are real gamers have a massive roster of games to choose from. It's yeah, you're not going to uh, $360 for a year for a subscription service is nuts. That is truly nuts. Yeah, for me, there's the tier lists. Like there's games that I have to have. There's games that yeah, I want to check out, but I maybe not ready for that level of commitment. And then there's games that I've always had in my roster. I'm always playing. They may not be the best of mine, but they're there. And I feel like on Xbox Game Pass, there's a lot of those games in there that are they're just okay games. People they're just like I was when I was going through Game Pass, that's what I noticed is that a lot of the games on there are just okay. They're just so okay. They're either terrible or they're just sure, take it or leave it kind of type games. Consoles, yeah. So I mean, $360. The Xbox 360 was almost that on launch. The Core was that. Interesting. It's receiving a lot of backlash though. Insane amounts of backlash. Cancel your subscription service and hit them when it hurts. You saw how quickly they went from $80 out of world pre-orders tanked. Yeah, I mean, there's this group in the gaming industry that's outside of the creative process. These aren't texture artists. These aren't music composers. These aren't these people aren't coming up with ideas and the narrative designs of games. They're not shaping video games in any way. All they have to do with is like product, money, dollar value to game. What works, what can we do? So these are the people that are necessarily not necessarily into the gaming development, but into the money side of it. And these people always just fucking suck because they just do not understand games. They look at Silk Song. Silk Song came out and was like only $20. Yeah, maybe that led to more sales, but they could have gotten away with more for charging that game. I mean, people were already gonna buy it. They're even saying other people are even saying like, you sure you want to spend those? So like Yeah, there's so many, and the $80 thing, and now GTA is gonna be probably $100 when it releases in different versions, 90, 100, 110, 150. But I do like extended editions. I will never not be okay with the like $150. My best example is I got the Skyrim Legendary Edition, the big box thing. It's like that big, beautiful art book, huge dragon statue, coins, blah blah blah, all the gifties. Those are still sweet, like because you want to get a game, you want to immerse yourself in it. Those are always great, but this type of shit is just ridiculous. $360 a year, skull. Yeah, no kidding. Never been worse time to be an Xbox fan. I don't know, like PlayStation isn't much better. They have like PlayStation Plus, and it's the same kind of shit as this. I've been a day one defender, and I think I just got priced at. It's been nice while it lasted. Yeah, I mean this is gonna be a good bonus. $10 a month is enough to for me to stop wanting it. Now it's worth it for me to just buy games on sale again. Yeah, that will drive a ton of people to Steam because Steam is, for me, Steam is the ultimate gaming uh, uh, interface. You know what I mean? Steam is just god tier. If every console, if every system had a Steam like, and Nintendo does have one. I guess they all have somewhat Steam like entities. But for me, Steam just works. Like it's just pro level game interface. You have your games, your collection, your PC stuff. It's got a nice store. There's always games you can get on sale. There's just infinite games. It's just heaven for gaming. And Xbox, PlayStation, and even to some regards Nintendo, although I would say Nintendo probably has the better ecosystem of the other two, Xbox and PlayStation. Still, Steam is just like, yeah, Steam cannot be beat. And they can't beat Steam because maybe they were trying to beat Steam with this. I don't know. But you can get a lot of Xbox games. A lot of the games that are on Game Pass you can get on Steam. So what I noticed when I had Game Pass, and I got it just for a free trial for fun, let's just take a look at what we can play with it. And of course, like Blizzard games are completely separate ecosystem from Steam. Is that I would be like, okay, well, most of these games I can just get on a sale on Steam. So why would I want to have them and not have them on Xbox Game Pass? You know, when it's like you just cannot beat Steam. It's just fucking god tier gaming. Lord Gabe Newell himself. Yeah, so I mean, this is getting huge fucking backlash here. Xbox Game Pass is about to cost more. Here's how to lock in the best price. Here, let's just go Game Pass. Polygon. What this means for your description. It's hard to tell if these companies are trying to do damage control or not because like day one games, it's like yeah, I don't know. There is something to be said for if you have a game that's like 20 hours of play and there's not much more to do in them besides just play through the base experience and then the game is done with and over with. There's this is an okay option for it, not for $30 a month. But there are other games that we talk about games like Oblivion and RTS games like for me Total Warhammer. And for other games, they're massive like uh, uh, Assassin's Creed Odyssey for me, one of my faves. They're all these games they just like you have forever, like, and you want to be accessing those worlds. You don't want to be tethered down by the chains on chains to just never Fallout 4. These are games that you'll play probably 10 years from now. You know what I mean? And if you let's see, let's calculate that. Let's say you had Game Pass and you had a game that you wanted to play 10 years from now, but you wanted to have Game Pass. The calculator. It would cost you for 10 years 360 times 10 is 3,600. Spend three. Let's see here. So if you go 360, whoops, 360 times 15 years of Game Pass would cost you 5,400 fucking dollars for 15 years. Because so that's like the example of Skyrim. So if I wanted Skyrim on Game Pass, and I've had Skyrim multiple editions, obviously, but you would have to have for 15 years of Game Pass, it would cost $5,400. And that's not to say that they won't cancel it or jack it up the price in 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's just a ridiculous thing, and I didn't really care too much about it because I had canceled my Game Pass. I'd kind of come clear with the idea that I don't really like the idea of not owning my games. You will not own your games and you will be happy. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is rising to a tremendous 50% in the that is a lot of money for an average person. Now, if you're like a wealthy software engineer making, 200 grand a year, you've got thousands and spending money every month on top of it. This is not much, really, in much. But if you're working at a bakery making $22 an hour and supporting two kids, this is going to be a fucking retarded investment for just a few games that you probably have in your circuit. Because most gamers always have about 4 or 5 games in their main circuit, and then they'll branch out when they're feeling curious and adventurous. But there are people who solemn rely on Game Pass games. Probably, it's fucking ridiculous. And they had to make a decision here. There had to have been a business decision saying, like a bunch of fucking CEO types sitting around in a boardroom going, oh, like, wait a second, put up the price, put up the price. A whole bunch of people canceled. Oh shit, it keeps going down. it's like, it's like they fucked that up. They done fucked that up for sure. Amazon still has 1 month codes available for $19.99, which is now effectively a $10 discount. But all this fucking around with $68 for 3 months. Jesus Christ. 3 months. You get that 3 months. That's $90 for 3 months. It's insane amounts of money. The max you can fill out on your account is 12, which costs Jesus. It's a lot of money. And it's accounting for the fact that they probably aren't making as much money as they hoped off of these stupid games that they keep making. And they're trying to recoup these costs. When the tried and true method of you make a great game, you release maybe a couple versions of it, maybe some more DLC down the road. That's the superior way of playing, buying, and getting video games. Is that you buy it, you own it, you have it. If there's additional content you want, you can purchase it. And if it's a game you really like, you'll get everything. This whole rental online, you pay for it but don't get it is stupid. And yeah, I know there's all these different clauses that it's like you don't actually own the game. It's just a license. It's still bullshit. It's still bullshit because you know, I'm able to counter that and saying that like the day they start, and I know they've done this with some games, but the day they start pulling massive amounts of games from ecosystems just because they want you to buy new games, they're gonna get fucking insane backlash because they're already asking for it with like Ubisoft and the Crew too. You know, people buy a game and then they take it away from you. Really, Ubisoft is the prime culprit there. And even MMOs push their limits a bit. It's insanity. So yeah, I mean the best way ever to own games, you buy it, you own it, you have it forever. You have those memories. It's that click of a button at any time in your life. I think that that will never be beaten. I don't think that they're going anywhere with these subscription services besides the fact of the ultra casual massive audience of people who just barely commit to video games and owning them. And yeah, stupid fucking another stupid ass decision from Xbox, but here, look at Xbox president. Oh, look at her. Could you really, really have thought that a DEI hire who doesn't even give a shit about video games would make stupid decisions about the gaming industry? Duh. DEI hire failing at Xbox. Who would have thunk it? Who would have fucking thunk that this Sarah Bond would have fucked up so hardcore with such a renowned brand? Like I said, if I was in charge of Xbox, we would have gotten Halo Ultimate, like fucking, you play as different, like the amazing, like planetfall missions. There's different planets you can control. You can customize your own Master Chief and create your own campaign, and it would be like Halo Reach with different fucking soldiers, and you would get a new Gears game that's fucking amazing. They just don't know. They don't understand video games, and there's so much of this DI hire BS that they just don't understand games. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Xbox thing. Peace.